Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm Zelp, and today we are going to sort of like use the spreadsheet that I've been featuring in the last two videos in practice and see how accurate it is, and can you actually use it to decide for good if you should go for critical or if not. And in this particular video, we are more or less comparing between critical and all the other multipliers that does not consist of any status effect. Now, it might feel like lately the game is actually leaning towards status effect being the key, or rather the meta, but there are some weapons that doesn't suit that kind of build. So in a weird way, you can say for now at least, because in the future we will be comparing between status effects and critical, but then for now you can actually use what you learned today to apply on weapons that just has really low or no status chance at all. So I'm gonna use the MK1 Breton. What I pretty much did was I go over to weapon comparison, I filter it according to the lowest status chance, and one of the lowest that popped out is the MK1 Breton. I want to use the lens, but then the lens has a really high critical chance, and I feel like it's a little bit biased towards critical. On top of that, it also has an explosion that can do blast and things like that, which has a lot of other factors involved, and I want something a little bit simpler to prove the theory that of the spreadsheet and stuff. So what we're gonna do here is I have this MK1 Breton kind of modded in a way that it looks something like this. Now, the problem with finding a weapon suitable for this experiment is that it needs to be something that is heavily modded or full mud, and it needs to have a potato. So I actually spent a potato on this just so that I can do this experiment. However, we still don't have enough capacity to have it fully modded, so instead of a full serration split chamber and also the Bane mods, we are actually running with no ranked at all. Now, to be honest, it really doesn't matter, because whatever you do here, it's going to scale up exactly the same with these mods on, because they are a separate multiplier. So technically, even without these, your results should still be the same. So the question here is simply, if I were to put these two mods on, okay, so now I have 180 times 2 is 360% elemental damage. Is that better for this weapon, or should I remove this and go for a critical build? So assuming that you only have 2 slots left, should you go for point strike and vital sense, or should you go for even more damage? Right, so if I were to go for even more damage, you will actually see that the damage here at least increase from 63.8 to 104.7. Whereas the critical, if I have the critical on and vital sense, it actually increased from 8% to 20%, which is not too bad, because point strike does give you a lot of value, 150% critical chance, and then your critical multiplier from 1.5 to 3.3. So which is better? Now feel free to pause the video if you want to give it, just give it your gut feeling of which one do you think is going to be the one that's good. What we'll do is we will run this, or rather simulate this in the spreadsheet, and then based on that outcome, we're going to test it in the game and see if it works. I also did not mention one more thing, is that we are testing it against chargers. Why charger? Is because if you go over here, you can look at, sorry, I actually didn't have it out, but if you look at chargers, you'll realize that they are not weak against corrosive, nor are they weak against blast. So having myself building for corrosive and blast is not going to increase my damage because of that. And health modifiers is also a separate multiplier, by the way, which I did not add in this list over here, the multipliers part, but it is considered as a separate multiplier. Another one is body part multiplier, where if you hit the headshot you do more damage. It's also a separate multiplier, but because this whole thing is more on modding your weapon, so I did not actually include those things. However, it's something that is good to know and to note. Another reason why we're going for corrosive and blast is because, if I'm not mistaken, blast does not contribute to any extra damage, but it reduces the accuracy of the enemy, so that really doesn't give you an edge of killing the enemy faster. And then corrosive, it doesn't really help when fighting against a charger that's infested because it doesn't have any armor, so their status is also not going to affect much. But then again, if you think about it, the status chance of it proccing is only 5%, which is kind of low to begin with. So again, question, will this be better or will this be better? All right, now let's try it on the spreadsheet. Let's start with this first. So over here we have 180 times 2 is 360%. We have a Bane mod of 5%, 10%, and a multi-shot 15%. So let's put all these values in. First, we need the weapons base stats. So it has a critical chance of 8 and critical multiplier 1.5. So chance of 8, which is really low, and of 1.5, also relatively low. Then after that, we're gonna look at the multipliers that we're gonna have. We have a 10%, was it 10% on damage, so that is going to be 0.1, and then multi-shot is 15. I'm sorry, my memory is really bad, so I have to keep referring just in case. 15%. And elemental, this is the one that we have 360%. And then speed, we don't have. Faction mods, we do have one that is 5%, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check. Ooh, it did not come out. 0.05. Okay, and let's double check that. Yes. And finally, when it comes to the critical part, the mods that we'll be using for critical, let's just put that in as well. Point strike is 150%, so it's going to be 1.5. Critical damage, if I'm not mistaken, yep, 100 and so 1.2. Right, so pretty much everything is done except for this. Now this is something that I feel like I may have said it wrongly in the past video. I told you guys that this value is very important, and it is kind of important because it tells you how much does your critical mods increase your overall damage. But when you're comparing with other things, you shouldn't be concerned about this value, because when you're comparing with other factors, other multipliers, it itself already had a multiplier. So by default, with the weapon at its base, critical chance of 8% and critical damage at 1.5, it actually has a damage multiplier of 4%. So what you have to do here is that, since we don't have any critical mods on right now, so by its default, you have to put here at 4%. Okay, and then we look at the values. We get 6.35. So let's just copy this. We'll put it over here. Make sure that we're pasting values only. Okay, so this is scenario 1. Let's call it this element because we have 4 elemental mods on. And then the next one, we're gonna call it crit. And this time we're gonna put critical mods on. So we're gonna replace these two with this. And now what we can do is, because we already put this value in, now we need to take this value. This value is after having the mods, the damage with mods, this damage without mods. So after having the mods, how many percent is actually going to increase? And we're actually going to get 0.46. So we're going to put here as 0.46, right? And like that, you can see that, oh, actually having critical is better. So let's copy this. Oh wait, we're not done yet. I forgot one more step. So the other step is that because we removed 2 elemental mods, we have to actually reduce this. So this is not 360% anymore. After removing 180, you have 180 left, so 108%. Now, oh, it's actually lower. Okay, I'm actually doing this for the first time as well, so I don't know what the value is actually going to be. So let's put over here, paste value. So just based on this spreadsheet, we learned that by having elemental mods on is going to outperform having critical mods on by about almost one, how many? So we can actually do this with math as well. So you can take this one, divide by this one, and see how much, about 17% extra. So now we are going to try it in the game. So we have these mods on. It's not going to be very noticeable because it's only about 20% or 70%. So we're going to simulate this. And also I don't know how long is it actually going to be taking to kill one. Maybe you can calculate the number of clips that we spend on a level 160 charger. So I'm trying not to miss, because if I miss then it's not going to be accurate. So I need to make sure. Okay, so that's one clip. Each clip has 60 bullets. And okay, so it's about 1.5 clips, right? About about 60 plus 30, about 90 clip. You know what? Just to be sure, because sometimes the critical takes in play. Oh, I need to reload first. Okay, let's do this one. The more, how do I say, the more tests I could do, more sample size, the more accurate our results is gonna be. Okay, it feels like this one is gonna actually die a little bit sooner. Okay, it's still really close to 1.5 clips. Okay, let's do this one. I think 3 is a good number. It's not too long, it's not too little, it's not too much as well. But again, of course, the more the better. Yeah, this does feel like another 1.5-ish. Close enough. Alright, a little bit more extra, about extra 5 bullets this time. Okay, so now we are going to change it to critical and see if we actually do indeed need more hits. So our critical is going to be point strike and vital sense. Alright. Now I feel like this whole test is good, and it kind of shows something that we humans, we're not. Oof, what just happened here? Kill all. Oh, it doesn't resummon all the chargers. Yeah, we human are actually really bad at judging based on probability. It's just harder to comprehend. So by right, according to the spreadsheet at least, the one with critical is going to need more bullets. It's gonna be harder to kill because you're doing less damage. So let's see. Ooh, I'm seeing the crits coming out. Okay, that's one whole clip. Okay, it is slightly lower, but we still have 2 more tests to do. I'm also trying to make sure that I'm shooting the same spot, because I don't want to be shooting a weak spot or something. Oh, there's no crit coming out for a long time for this one. So I'm probably going to spend a lot more. See, sometimes you're just really lucky and sometimes you're just not lucky. So imagine if you base on feeling. Oh, this is exactly 2 clips. Imagine if you are doing this based on feeling, and what if, let's say the first 3 that you do, you're just extremely lucky and you keep getting all the crits and you think that going critical is better, but it's actually not. Or if you are extremely unlucky and you don't crit as much, and then you think that going critical is bad, but it's actually not, because over time on average one might win the other. So yeah, you can see obviously with critical, this weapon is not as good as going for more elemental damage in this case. So one of the reasons why that is just simply because the weapon itself has a very low critical chance at its base. So because its base is low, trying to bump that up is not so good. And then because the multiplier is also not that low, not that high, so therefore having this one also doesn't contribute that much. I kind of want to do one that is stronger. So let's take a look. I want to try the Dread, but the problem is the Dread has a really high status chance, and it might actually cause, you know, death due to status instead of death due to critical or damage. So let's try and find one that is not a shotgun, because shotgun has really bad critical, critical mods. One at I think 90% critical chance, and the damage critical damage multiplier is only like 60%, which is really low. Okay, we have the Acceltra. Now, I heard a lot about this weapon. The problem is I've never really played it. So it has really good critical and also critical damage. Wow. So I feel like this one is kind of obvious that it's gonna win with critical, but let's just go for it. So I have friends kind of like telling me on Discord to use this weapon, but I just never got myself to do it. Because it's part of a day one access weapon, I got the item with me potato, so that is really good. So first we are going to try the exact same thing. So let's put in corrosive and then heat, and then what over here we have left. Again, we don't have a lot, so we can actually put whatever it was just now, but to be honest, you don't have to put it because it's going to increase it the same amount, so technically it doesn't matter. So I guess just for the sake of showing, I'm not gonna waste time and put those in. Okay, so let's try this out. Let's do with the spreadsheet first. So let's see, the critical chance 32%, nice. So we're gonna put here 0.32. The critical damage is 2.8, again really nice, 2.8. Okay, and then the critical mods is gonna be the same. We are not going to have any damage mods on. We're not gonna have any multi-shot and faction mods. Attack speed, to be honest guys, when you're using this, don't put attack speed, because there are other factors involving in the attack speed category that we have yet to talk about, because the faster you attack, the faster you reach the reload time, and the more the reload time is going to play over and over again, and it's going to mess up your overall DPS. So this time we have 360. Okay, and our critical is going to increase because of its base. It's going to increase by 0.57. Do I want to put 6 there? Let's just put it at 0.58, right? So now for our second test, I'm gonna put, for the element one, it's going to be copy, paste value. Okay, and let's take a look at the critical side of things. So remove these. We're gonna put point strike. What do you guys think? Again, tell me what you think. What's your gut feeling telling you? Which one do you think is better? It feels kind of obvious because of how high its base critical chance is, but I don't know. Let's see. So now with this, it bumped everything up. We need to remove 2 elemental mods, and that is pretty much it, and then change this critical. So now this one is 1.8, and this one goes all the way up to 4.121813. 14, yikes, 14.3. Did I press 3? Nope, 3, there you go. So from what did I just do? I pressed escaped for some reason. Paste value. Okay, so from just this, we can see that it's almost double, which means that critical is going to kill the charger twice as fast. So let's just see if that's the case. All right, so that we know that at least the ratio in the formulas of the spreadsheet is somewhat accurate. So right now, what do I have on? Let's do the elements one first. Okay, corrosive and blast, same thing. And some impact damage, which is also not affected by the charger. Why is it always 3 chargers? I want more. Give me all. Simulate. Okay. I actually know why it's 3, because we only killed 3. Ready and go. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is bad. It pushes it back. How am I gonna do this? Oh no, this is... And also because it's shooting really fast, the recoil also feels like it's really fast. There's some kind of explosion going on. I just want to know how many clips it takes to kill. Okay, almost 1 full clip, I would say. We have 8 bullets left. I think I'm gonna do just one more test because it's really hard to get this right. And I want to make sure that none of my bullets miss. With the recoil and everything. Oh yeah. Yes. Get stuck. That's good. I don't know why that's funny to me. Okay, so that is, yeah, almost one full clip as well. We have 48 in the clip. Okay, now we are going to put on critical. So according to what we found out, critical is gonna work better on this weapon. Now, to be honest, having a really fast rapid fire weapon, you don't really need that much status to be sort of like status viable because of how fast it's cranking up the stacks of the status effect. So even though it has a really low status, it might be a good idea to go for some status build for the Acceltra. But anyways, we are not testing that. We are still on, where's my vital stance? Oopsie. Okay, so let's see if what we know is what we know. Okay, there's still that many over there. We can just use it. Okay, I need to aim towards like something. Holy crap. See, I feel like I'm really lucky at this point. I'm getting all crits. Oh wow. Almost, wait, was that all crits? Okay, so yeah, it's supposed to be double the amount, and we did kind of kill it about half a clip. Yikes, man. Wait, did we reach like 100% critical chance? I don't even know. Holy. New critical chance is supposed to be 80%. It's not even 100% yet. I should have a 20% chance of missing. But apparently, I crit every single one. So it used off less than half a clip because I was really lucky. And that's the problem when coming with crits. Is 80%? Yeah, it is 80%. Anyways, that is all for this video. The whole idea here is really just to showcase how you can use the spreadsheet to better mod your weapon based on critical stuff, because it's hard for us humans to visualize how does the probability of critical and the critical damage actually come into play. Now I'm still thinking how to compare between status and critical, but I do like if you guys could tell me down in the comments which one or which status do you want me to test first, because obviously it's not going to be possible. Each status effect has very unique properties and it can buff you in different ways. So we really need to go through one at a time. So which status would it be? I feel like it's either going to be viral or corrosive. So if you are not sure which one to pick, pick between viral and corrosive. Flip a coin or something. Let me know down in the comments, and also let me know what you think about today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.